Welcome, welcome. All right, so this is an update to the ARK Server Manager tool. Okay. As of this recording, which is December 3rd, 2015, we are now into version 226.3, I believe. And being that we're in that one, we are now working on all of our updates, getting our servers going, all that good stuff. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to give you a run through of setting it up, and then I am going to then proceed to give you some tips on port forwarding. So I was thinking about making it 2 videos. I'm just going to make it 1 video for right now. That way, you guys don't have to go looking at a second video. So this is going to be just a little bit long, and I'm foregoing the intro video because it is way too long. I put it in. People kind of complained about it, gave me the WTF, and you know what? Okay, fine. Be that way. I'll make it shorter. I was planning on it, but people complaining, what happens? So anyway, here we go. This here is the ARK Server Manager.freeforums.net forum, set up by both Hellsguard and Kronos WS. They are the 2 individuals who have now got this up and running, that plus they're in to do this for you guys. So, give them as much support as you guys can. Please respect them. They've put a lot into this of their own free time and free will. They didn't have to do this. They did it. And my appreciation, my admiration, my respect to them. Now, ARK Server Manager, this is the home page. I signed up. You should sign up too. This is where you're going to go to put all your bug reports. This is where you're going to go to get tech support. This is where you're going to go to check out what the development stages are. If you have an idea, give them your ideas. What would make this better? They're not closed-minded developers. These guys are pretty open-minded and they listen. So this is where I would think that you guys would want to go. Now you have all kinds of things to read in here, but where we're going to go first is the release of information. Okay, here there are some things that you do need to read first if this is your first time. Do not put the data directory or server in the ARK Server Manager directory or the ASM directory. You'll just break it. So don't do it. Go ahead, just read through. There's a how to installation and there's downloads. Now, this is where we're going to go, right here to downloads. Click on downloads. Here is all of your release notes all the way down, from the beginning when they first started this venture. Now, here you go, latest zip. You download it. I've already done this. I've already ran it. No big deal. But here's your latest zip. You click it, you download it, you set it up, and bam, ARK Server Manager. Now from here, what you're going to do is they have it set up now. Your public IP address is going to come up because this is what is needed for people to actually log in your server. They need that address, not your local IP address. They need your public IP address. The local IP address is directly for you and anybody in your house that is running on the backside of your router. Front side being the internet, backside being in your house. Okay? Backside of that, it's all inside your house. People who are running this game are going to use the local IP or the LAN settings. Okay? Now, I've got this set up for the server port 7779. the query port of 27017. I just put this together to give you guys an idea of, what it's going to take to get this stuff done. Now, I did update this before we started, and apparently it didn't like my installed version, so I'm not going to worry about that for right now. We're just trying to get you up and running. Okay? I actually run a complete separate server rack with servers. This is my personal computer. You want to use the ban list to ban people who are cheaters and this, that, and the other. Right there. Click it. Bam. Done. Set your server password. As of right now, I just have this set as Barney. Admin password. Larger dynos. Local IP, which is this computer here right now, is the 192.168.0.4 or dot, whatever you guys want to call it, for points. And you'll have a list, let ARK choose or your recommended. That's what it is. Now, if you reset your server, or excuse me, back that up. If you reset your router at any point in time, this local IP can change and you'll get an error saying that that is no longer your local IP address. All you have to do is come over here, click on this. It'll tell you recommended. Bam, you're done. It automatically detects it for you, so you're good there. So what we're going to do is you name your profile, save it. You're going to save the installation location. Okay. I have games, ARK dedicated server tool. That's my location for all of this information here. Okay. Now, the ARK Server Manager is situated in a different spot other than this. I just have this ARK dedicated server tool because that's how I name it, so I know where all my stuff is at. Okay. Now you're going to name your server. You're going to go your server password and your admin password. Always put an admin password in. That way people can't come in and just take all your cheat codes and then just build whatever they want, ban you from your own stuff. People do that kind of stuff. They're idiots. So that's what you get. Let's go ahead and call this CNG Gaming 1. Okay? Now, I've got mine set as Barney, admin, larger dynos. I don't care because this is not going to be a complete up and running server that people are going to play on. Server port, query port. Okay, I got the use raw socket connected. Okay, and you come down here if you want to run an admin console. This is where you will put in all your ports and log admin to chat, which will mean that if you do anything inside of chat that requires an admin cheat code or whatever, it's going to pop up in chat. People are going to see it. Here's your server admin logs, so you can log everything. You'll just enable that if you want. The map path or the map mod path is going to be the island, unless you're choosing one of the other maps or map mod paths. So you'll put that in there, but the island is by default. Mod IDs, these are the mods that I use. I am actually not going to load any of the mods. Even though I have them, I'm not going to load them. I don't want to. All right. So what you'll do is you'll put your mod IDs in here and you'll separate them by commas. It tells you right there. And it'll automatically load them as you put them in there. Just be careful of the load order. Read your mods. Okay? Read them very carefully. Sure that they don't have a specific load order like, oh, I have to be first, or load me last, whatever. You won't see any of that. Okay? Now, here, yeah, autosave period is set default 15 minutes. You can set it for however you want. That's up to you. Message of the day, that's what pops up when people first log into your server. Whether they're creating a character or they've already created a character and then they're going ahead and playing the game again, logging back in. Mine is friends don't let friends game alone. That is CNG Gaming, Grimstout Gaming motto. Friends don't let friends, game alone. Remember that. The duration, 10 seconds. That's just something that comes up as default. Here you can disable the Valve anti-cheat system, disable player move physics optimization, the disable anti-speed hack detection. You know, all this stuff is relatively new since the last time I did this video, so didn't me. But this here, if you want to disable them, here you go, disable them. If not, just leave them alone. Leave them unchecked. The command line, additional arguments. If there's something that you need to place in here that is not on the list, but you have to put it in there, this is where you're going to place those arguments in. Whether it's the allow flyer carry PVE equals true, that would go in here, but it's already on the list. As before, when it first came out, they didn't have that. Now it does, so you don't have to really put that argument in. Automatic management, that's for if you're using an actual server and you got server shuts down, comes back up. That's where you'll be using all this. We're not going into that. We're just trying to get you guys set up for playing your first server or however you want it. Now rules, enable hardcore mode, enable PvP, enable PvE cave building, enable PvE friendly, or excuse me, disable PvE friendly fire. Difficulty, I have this thing jacked up to the max on here. I want you to be afraid of my dinosaurs. That's exactly how I feel. Bam. On my personal server that for CNG Gaming, you're gonna die. You die from piranhas. Enable tribute downloads. If you have an official server that you have a character on and you want to move it, make sure that you can download your character, your items, and your dinos. If you can't, then this is not going to work for you. Now, if you're coming from another server that actually has it enabled, you'll be able to do this. And you can do this for your server as well. You can actually go and enable it, and then you'll be able to bring all your stuff over to your server. Or if you want anybody else to bring their stuff over, you can do that. This is your spawn intervals. These are for all PvP here. This is a PvE scheduler. If you only want PvE between certain time and certain time, then that's what it's going to be. If you don't want any kind of PvP on your server, just leave it unchecked. Don't even worry about it. The tribe warfare, allow tribe warfare, allow canceling tribe warfare, and allow custom recipes. Now these are all things that are new, and you can click on these to allow them or unclick them, but by default they're clicked, these two here. And allow the canceling, that is unchecked, brain part. Chat notifications, global voice chat, proximity text chat, player left notifications, player join notifications. These are all enabled. If you want to disable them, unclick. Okay. Your heads up display and your visuals. These are all things that you can customize however you want. You can disable player gamma settings in PvE. You can allow player gamma settings in PvE. As it says now, this is disabled, this is enabled, meaning that you can do that. Enable flyer carry, right there, bam, means you're on your dino that flies, whether it's an Argent or it's a Pterodactyl or the Quetzal. Pretzel? Sorry, a funny word. Anyway, you can then use that to pick up other dinos that are not in your tribe, or pick up other players on your server that are not within your tribe. That's what that's all about. Here, XP multiplier is only set at 1 times. Max XP set at, what do we got there? A million? Yeah, a million. Because I have extra things set up. Levels and things like that. Damage, water drain, food drain. making it so that you don't have to drink as much or eat as much. I have that down just a tad little bit, trying to slow that down just a tad bit. Here, this is per level stat multipliers. So as you add a level in on something, here food will go up by 1.5 versus only by 1. You'll get an extra little bit of food on your food, or a little bit extra on the water The temperature, as you can tolerate it and stuff like that, that'll be on there. Fortitude, a little bit higher. Crafting speeds, a little bit higher. These are all settings that you can deal with. You make them however you want. If you want to make it so that nobody gains any kind of health, make it. Who cares? It's your server. The dino settings are the same way as you got here. As we have here, you have disable dino decay PvE, meaning that nobody can, like you're not on the server for a while and you don't, you're just not there. Guess what? After a certain amount of time, if that's enabled, somebody can come and take your dinos. Whereas now it's disabled, they can't take your dinos. Okay? That's on PvE, not PvP. Remember that. Here's the dino decay period, meaning that the amount of time you can change it if you have it enabled. Adjust it. Here you can make any of these dinos. You can make any of these dinos spawnable and tameable. All you gotta do is just click the check box. I think by default they're all checked. I don't like that. Anyway, here you go. That's that. We are now at the taming per level stat multipliers. These are everything that you can change, just like on your own character, as they level up. These are things that you can change, stats that you can change. Wild dinos, they do level. And these are the multipliers for their levels. So you can actually, have a wild dino leveling, and when they level, they gain, stats. And here's the stats you can change it. Dino breeding multipliers. Here that you can change the egg hatch speed, baby mature speed, baby food consumption speed, and the mating intervals. The mating intervals, the lower the number, will decrease the amount of time between matings. Egg hatch speed, the higher the number, the faster it's going to hatch. Mature speed, the higher the number, the faster it's going to mature. The food consumption speed, well, if the higher you make it, the more they're going to eat. The lower, the less they're going to eat. Okay? Or as far as consuming the amount of food. Your environment, taming speeds, harvest amounts, your resource respawn. Now this here is what on the servers that really get people pissed off, when you get a lot of people going in and griefing by placing a lot of structures and just decimating a whole area of resources. This here, you can actually make it so that you allow it to respawn closer to your structures or to the player. If you're laying down, you actually have an area around you. Nothing's going to respawn if you're laying down. Okay? So anyway, the lower the amount, the closer it's going to stuff's going to respawn to your base or to you. Okay, right now I have it at 0.25. I've been messing around with it on my own personal server, and I found that 0.3 on the player and 0.4 on the replenish rate for structures is pretty nice because it makes it closer, but not too close that it's inside your base. Okay. You can adjust your custom harvest amounts for each individual item that you want. That's up to you. Your day cycles, your daytime speeds, your nighttime speeds, the spoil times. You have all of these different settings that you can run with. My day cycle speed, as you see, is 0.7. My nighttime speed is 1.75. So my nighttime speed is pretty quick, but my day speed is a little slower. But my daytime speed, meaning the full 24 hours, is at 1, which is default. Structure resistances, structure damage. You can play with all these all you want. This is something that, if you like it, good. If not, you know what? Don't worry about it. Okay? You can go right past this if you don't want to mess with it. Ingrams, if you want to change the Ingram overrides of the cost, if you want to hide it, if you want to remove the prerequisites, or the level in which you're going to receive it, that can all be done right here. This is strictly for Ingrams. Okay, this is your Ingrams override. All you got to do is click here, and you'll enable the override, and you can make all the changes you want. Here's the custom level progressions. This is where I've made my changes. As you can see, I have it all the way up to 110 right now. Okay, and then Ingram point totals. You can change all of these numbers here, so you can get more or less Ingram points. This is all yours. You make it how you want. I stick with the basics. Okay, XP required, 5 points to get to level 2, 20 points to get to level 3, 40 points to get to level 4, so forth and so on until, on my servers, 110. Actually, I have it up to 120 now, I believe. You can do the dinos the same way, the XP levels, all the way up to however you want to do. Right now, from taming level, okay, that your dino tames out at, it then has an additional 100 levels after the way I have it set up here. Okay, so if your dino tames out at 100, taming efficiency included, your dino tames out at 100. That dino then will be a level 200 dino when it's fully XP'd out. Okay, that's all that means right there. You can add more if you want. You can take away your server. You make it to what you want. Okay, survival of the fittest. Again, if you want to do survival of the fittest server, click it. You can sit there and then just do what you want to your server. Make it however you want. Like I said, this is your server. Okay. Now, set it up. You're ready to start your server. All you have to do then is make sure that you forwarded your ports. Okay? If you don't, your status will say started. The availability will not show that it's been published. It will say not published or still publishing or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but for the longest time I couldn't figure it out. I did a lot of researching on it. And this is where we're going to go to port forwarding, people. Now, open up your browser. This number should be the number for anyone to get into the router. Okay? Kids, get mom and dad's permission or get mom and dad to do this. Do not mess with these settings. This is my router. Yours is probably going to be almost identical. This is just a server or an address to get to the router. Okay, this is where you're going to log in. Most logins, username is admin, password is password. I'm going to log in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to your firewall. You are going to add port triggers. As you can see here, I have my TeamSpeak port triggers. I have my ARK Server Evolve 3 port triggers, ARK Server Evolve 2 port triggers, ARK Server Evolve 1 port triggers, ARK Server Evolve 2 port triggers. Now, your outbound ports should match your inbound ports. These two should match each other. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do another one. show you exactly how it's done here. Now you're going to come down here, you're going to click add. Let's call this one let me through. Okay, we're going to choose an outbound port. Let's do 7987. Let's do a +1 on this. Let's go 7988. Now the format is either TCP, UDP, or both. Most of the times you're going to want to do both. Okay. We come over here to the outbound. Outbound matches inbound. Inbound matches outbound. So here we're going to go 7987, 7988. You're now going to add your port trigger. It's going to take a little bit. It's going to update. Once it's done updating, then it's going to have that in there so that it'll allow traffic in and out on that port. Okay. This is just a test to show you guys. Okay. Let's go to okay, so now we're going to go to virtual servers. This is important, people. If you are not getting through, that is because your private IP address is not set up for your system to go in and out on. You have to have these ports forwarded or else you're not going to get connected. Nobody's going to be able to connect to your server. You're not going to see it set up anywhere. Okay. Now, my other server, that's here, ARK Server 1. These are my query ports and my server port. Okay. These are the ranges that I run for that server. Okay. This is my private IP address, local port, local port. My inbounds, outbound, inbound, they're all the same, remember? Goes back to your port triggers, right? So the exact same way, you're going to add a description. You're going to add your inbound ports that you had on your port triggers, the +1 to it. You're going to run both. Here's where you need to find out what your private IP address is for your computer that you're running your server on, okay? Here is where you find that info. You're going to go under LAN setup, your LAN settings, a clients list. This client list tells whatever's using your router, okay? Whether it's wireless or not, what's using your router. Now, I have 3 already reserved for my clients list. These 3 numbers cannot be used by anything else. If my server goes down, my electricity goes out, these 3 are a constant. They're going to stay there. So when my system comes back up, this doesn't change. Remember when I was telling you this here, how this number changes? I get around that by adding it to my reserved IP clients list. Then I have a constant local IP address for it. Okay, this is for my game server, for my personal server. This is for the Xbox. Either online statuses, online, online, and online. Now these are everything else. This here, this is a cell phone. This is a cell phone. Cell phone. Draco, this is another computer out in the living room. Another computer out in the living room. This here, another cell phone. So, okay, you see these? Okay, this is the Mocha. This is in the living room. This is in the living room. This here, that's the second, third computer out in the living room. That's what that one is. That's the third computer. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find what your local IP is. Your local IP for me is this here. So when we go over here to the firewall, go to the virtual servers. I've already got one set up right here for TeamSpeak because I run a TeamSpeak server on my computer instead of on my servers. So what I've done is the inbound port for my server is 9987 through 9987. It both runs UDP and TCP, the both, the private IP address, and then the local port, which is the same as the inbound port. Now it's all done right here. Okay. Then you're going to click on Add Virtual Server. It's going to again reset itself, or it's not reset itself. It's going to refresh itself and add that configuration in, and then you should be able to get this server to work. Okay. Now, as you can see, my server port and my query port are not on this list. Okay. This will not connect as far as friends and family outside of the house are going to see. Only locally will you see it because I have not set up virtual server triggers. Okay. Port triggers are different than virtual triggers. Remember that. Virtual servers are set up for your local IP address, for your local IP address to go in and out through the firewall. You have to set it up for the firewall as well for your port triggers, but you also got to set up your virtual servers. Okay. Now, this box is considered an ARIS box. There are so many different boxes out there. They're going to call it different things, but virtual servers will be set up the exact same way. Port triggers are going to be set up the exact same way. You have to have an outbound port, inbound port, and the type of port that you're running through, whether it's UDP or TCP. And you have to have a description so you know what it's for. Okay? Virtual servers, exact same way. You're going to have an inbound port, private IP address, a local port, that type, whether UDP, TCP, or both. And then you have to have a description. Unless you want to play a guessing game, I would suggest put it something that you'll know what it's for. Okay? Now, once you've got all that done and you start your server up, hit start. Yes. This will pop up. And then get another pop up here. There you go. Now, this is telling you that it's starting up. Your system has not started up yet. You will not find this on any of your servers yet. Okay? You have to wait until all of this here is filled in with times telling you that it primitive took so many seconds, and then it'll tell you, okay, fully set up took, and I think it's like 540 seconds or something, just depending on how well your internet and your server and all these little things are working together. It's just that's what makes all the difference. Okay, so I'm going to be fast forwarding past this, but I have to sit here. You guys are going to be able to see it a little bit faster. So sorry about that. And we're back. Look at that. So it took for full startup 197.2 seconds. This runs so much faster than my server. My server takes 500 and some odd minutes. It's like a full 10-minute, 15-minute upstart, just because my server's kind of sorry, but it works really good. You know, the lag effects that you have on your official server is nothing, or is like, you know, my server. That's neither here nor there. So anyway, we have it set up, and as you can read, we have it all here. The command line, the island, auto flyer, carry PVE equals true, query port, multi-home, because that's exactly what we have. We have a multi-home situation here. That's why it's a 0.4. We have the raw sockets that we're running with right now. Auto destroy old structures multiplier is set to 0. Max players 70. Port 7779. We're listening to no Steam client, game, server, and log. Anyway, I already have these situated in my system, so it allowed them to come through. Now the status of the ARK server is on Steam. Let's verify. Come over here, view, servers, here because I put everything on. This is C&G Gaming. This is my main server that I have situated. Fresh. See there? Bam. Set up to 2.6.3 on the other server. Now here, go over to LAN, C&G Gaming 1. See here? Oh, excuse me, sorry. Right here. C&G Gaming 1. Nobody on the server right now. My latencies are kind of low, but that's because I'm right here. My friends in Norway, their latencies when they play on my servers is roughly about between 50 to 75. I'm in Florida, in the United States. They're in Norway. Quite a bit of a distance, so the pinging is not an issue. And then what my servers will get better because my internet will get better once I get my business line. So anyway, neither here nor there. Bam, it's situated. C&G Gaming is there. We go over here to internet. Show you here in a second. I'll let it boot up some servers real quick. And we hit 1,000. Bam. Let's go ahead and stop the refresh. Now we're going to go down. Let's find our servers on the list. Oh, okay. Okay, C&G Gaming. Right there. That's my server, my own personal server. This server is not showing up. Okay? Not showing up. Server. So let's go here. ARK Server. Let's check them out here. Let's see what it says here. C&G Gaming, that's my other server, not this server. Okay? Not going to show up anywhere. See here. Let's go into the game. La 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 la. Library. Play. Drop the call down. Something like yes, I know the video is long. You can fast forward to any of the parts that you want to fast forward to or rewind to, whatever. But we got to be kind of thorough because some people have trouble and we need to make sure that those people get it. If you are an advanced user, go ahead and skip through what you need to skip through. Okay, so let's go ahead and join ARK. See here in my favorites, we do not have C&G Gaming 1. anywhere in here. Go to unofficial servers. Let's look up CNG. CNG Gaming 1 is nowhere in here. We only have one server. That's it. One server. Okay? Now, delete this. Go down here. Let's go to LAN. CNG Gaming 1, right here in LAN servers. Only place you're finding it. You're the only one that's going to be able to play it, or anybody on the backside of your server is going to be able to play it. Okay? So we need to then do a virtual port forward. Remember I was telling you the virtual port forward? That's what we need to do. And then once we do that, everything's going to show up on everything else. Okay? So let's cancel that out. Hold on. One of my favorites. Then let's cancel out. Exit out. Now we're going to go here, virtual servers. We're going to add another one. Let me through these 777 79. Yes, I put it at 79. Through 7780. We're going to go both. The IP address is 192.168.0.4. This is where our server is. Okay. Local port has to match inbound port 7779 through 7780. We're going to add this virtual server. Come on. There we go. Now we have to add the second part of the server. We have to do the query port now. Okay. Have to add the query port, which is going to be let me through the one. That's 27017, 27018. Both on the format. Okay. IP address 192.168.0.4. Remember, local matches inbound. Inbound matches outbound. Outbound matches inbound. Inbound back to local port. 27017, 27018. Add the virtual servers. Oh, it's invalid because I put the wrong numbers. See? People, you guys have that problem. I've seen people's questions about that. They're having that problem. It's because you put the wrong port numbers here and here. 8. Now we add this virtual server. There we go. And there we go. Now we have them added. Let's see if CNG comes up again. Oh, right there. Look at that. Bam. CNG Gaming 1. See how that works, guys? And gals. So anyway, we have the CNG Gaming 1. It's right there. Remember it wasn't showing up before? It's because you weren't virtually through the system yet for the server. Okay? Now, let's go back. See, it's all still running. Now let's go to the server list here. Now, let's refresh all. Let's see if we can find CNG Gaming 1 now. We'll hit 1,000, and probably get more than 1,000. I'm kind of slow. Anyway, let's go down to the C's, because I have mine set alphabetically. CNG Gaming 1. Okay, you guys see how that works? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I will help out the best I can, make sure your guys' servers are getting through. Kronos will do the same. Same will Hellguards. These guys are here to help you. I'm here to help you get your servers up and running. Okay? This is what this is all about, is you guys having the best experience and using the best tool out there. Okay? Now, see that it works. I've shown you that it works. Now you just need to implement it. Okay? If you need help, feel free to contact me. I will help you the best way I can. Okay? Now I'm going to put a link down in the bottom to the ARK Server Manager here to the home page. I'm going to put a link to this page down below. I'm also going to put a link to some other things that I feel that will help you guys set your systems up, like using the game server list. Okay, that arkservers.net will help you find your server to make sure that you have properly set up your ports on the port forwarding in your firewall. Okay, this will help set that all up for you. All right. Now, I do have another link that I'm going to put down there for you guys. It's going to help you guys optimize your system a little bit. Let me open it up for you. I've written this in many posts. I'll put a link to my post that I did this for. This is to smooth out your gameplay for your system. Okay. I know you guys probably are already saying, well, the game's not optimized, the game's not optimized. Yes, that is true. It is getting better, but this here helps clean it up a little bit as well. Just a little bit of help. If it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, you know what? Okay, fine. Didn't help. But I'll be putting a link to my discussion post for that. Okay. If you do like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down. Either way, I got to know if you liked it or not. Okay. Go into the comment sections down there. Let me know. If you got questions, let me know. Come on here to the forums. There are plenty of places on here. People will get to the questions and help you answer them as much as you can here on the forum. When I'm on, I'll come in, I'll take a look and see what new ones are out there and give my best opinions on what's going to help you solve your problems. Okay? I'd like to thank you guys a ton for coming by the video and checking it out. Like I always say, friends don't let friends game alone. Peace.